Just kicking off a little bit late today with the live stream. Just testing the equipment. Just did the scoreboard, and it's 1-0 to the home team, Marys, this week. Well, Yamana just picked up on that. St Mary's number 10 just made the deficit 2 goals now in this first half. So, not good news on this sunny Saturday afternoon where it is the after show party. It is the hangover from last week's final. The Castletown team in red have returned to the scene of the crime where the ram raid, the ambush, the boys from Pulrose ripped the wheels off the RS Turbo and took away the dreams of Cup glory in that horrific final 5 minutes of torture. The engraver was just sharpening his scribe to get Castletown on the trophy, but fear not. Didn't happen. And St Mary's were popping the pomade. The Strongbow cider was in full flow. And heaven knows what else as they marched their way back to the Pinewood. Victorious. Chanting like the cast from Shameless. As they came out 3-2 winners in last week's Horror Fest. And the pain has continued today with Castletown 2 goals down. Had a chat with one of the crowd on the way round. Nothing like last week. We've gone from about 500 to about 5 on this bowl experience. And a player called Ash scored the first goal, and the second one was number 10 there, casually put away past Ryan. And that is it, 2-0. It's pretty lifeless. It's tough. Edson, what can he inject into the game? Yeah, there's something about this ground, this playing surface. It's as flat as a pancake, and this suits my mood and your mood for Castletown as our season is coming to an end. Just a bit of an aside, we've got a referee. His name's Morris. Was it Stuart Morris? Anyway, he's been assessed today, so good luck. We hope you can keep a clean record sheet. No need to get overexcited about dishing out the cards unless absolutely necessary. Castletown picked up quite a few discipline marks over the season. Something to reflect on. I think it's cost us in suspensions. You know who you are. Last week we could have done with a couple of players and it would have been a simple journey to victory. But no, I think some silliness in the preceding games just kind of got the better of us, and some big gaps last week. Great effort though all round. Can't, make any criticism of that. 100% effort, and that man in the goal there, for me, Ryan, was a man of the match. Outstanding effort. So free kick to the men from Mary's. The Saints. Cup holders, they got the edge. Try and get a team sheet for you and things at half-time. Just came a little bit late today. Had to do a bit of grafting, as they say. Cost of living and all that. You got to put a few extra hours in these days. Rob Tier just dispossessing the ball, and Fingal getting involved in the action, but from what I've seen so far, it's been advantage Mary's. Comby are playing at the Metropolitan Stadium today, so we hope we can pop along if you're in the Castletown area to see that. I think they've had a bit of a rest for a few weeks. Big thanks to Charlie Palmer for co-commentating at the right times. Educated, eloquent, absolute contrast to the output that I can give you. But yeah, fair play to him. Excellent representative, ambassador of the club. So good luck to the youngsters out there today. Got Rob Tier, just middle of the box, star of the future, no question about that. Good understanding of the game, good awareness. Corner floated over and just seen out by Thompson. So temperature's quite warm. Hydration is going to be important today, but let's face it. We were running round the castle with F all. Running round the castle, running round the castle, running round the castle with F all. Fill in the blanks. You know what the mood is like at the moment. It's a little bit dreadful, it's a little bit down. Are we just going to see this season out? Look at just getting a top 4 place. Is that it? I think we had great hopes of getting promoted. And no doubt there will be questions asked. There'll be a post-mortem on the season, how it did pan out. A couple of key moments. It's got to be those games again against Braddon, where we lost 6 points, and then we turned these guys over big time. And then a couple of last 5-minute sections of the game where the concentration lapsed. Did we bottle it a bit? I don't know. Oh, I've got Mr. McCulloch alongside me. Hello there. I missed the first part of the game. Did you see it?
They're just seconds ready.
Hangover from last week?
They've lost 4 players to last week's starting 11 as well, which is always going to put an extra strain on them.
And it's tough coming here. It's a different style of football, isn't it? And there we go. Nicely tipped over. And that is 3-0. We can adjust the scoreboard. So, tough last week, wasn't it?
They
Imploded, I think, was the...
2 minutes to go, you've got the ball in your goalkeeper's hands, just kick the thing out to the side. Don't roll it onto the penalty spot for the forward.
Well, I think, just speaking as a Castletown...
Oh, no.
Oh, it's in for 4. Oh, dear me. I don't even want to catch that on film. And so it's 4-0 down, not even half time. So, yeah, last week they were running around the castle with no ball, shall we say.
Yeah. So close yet so far.
Some hope, though, in this team, isn't there? They've come a long way this year.
I can see that there's a lot of good young players there. They need the senior players to be a bit more helpful in improving them as youngsters. It's not a foul. Yeah, there's a lot of good young players. Keep the core of the team together. Strengthen up in the summer. Get a recognised goalkeeper and they'll do a lot better, I'm sure.
I think we're not being cruel to... Right, oh, that's 5 now. This is ugly viewing. Not being cruel to Ryan, I think he's more comfortable in the combi, isn't he? I think that's where he wants to be. I think
you can't force people to do things. They've got to want to do it themselves.
Yeah. Well, performance last week, he played out of his socks, and we're missing Callum McLaughlin, wasn't it? We had him last year. He was competent. But I think, standing up on the gantry week in, week out, communication's been a big thing.
Well, if your centre halves don't talk, no one's going to. Your centre halves have got to be vocal. They've got to be powerful. They've got to make decisions that sometimes they don't like, commit themselves, not get involved in tittle-tattle with referees and stuff. Just focus on their own game.
Well, that tittle-tattle has cost us in a big way, I think, this season. I think
I've seen it too many times, Jed, where you're playing with 9 men because people are in the sin bin.
Yeah.
And I don't go along with this rule about the sin bin. I think it's a nonsense. You're either booked once and you'll go away with the yellow. You book twice and you're off, or a straight red and you're off. That's it. None of the sin bin stuff. It just gives them licence to mess about.
Absolutely. Just it's a bit of a grey area, isn't it, really?
It's a nonsense.
But I think any team like Castletown, they need a bit of leadership, don't they? That commanding position, the big centre half, like you said, noisy, shepherding his teammates. I think that's absolutely vital. Now, you must have been part of some big teams in the years gone by.
Yes, yeah.
Who stands out? Who stands out as that kind of player? Apart from yourself, of course.
Paul Baker was a great centre-half. Tabs Tier never kept his mouth shut for a second. But how much good come from that? It's just, you can't measure it.
It's motivation, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we've got the young Tier who's growing into the game. It's good. Good control.
I think he's grown a little bit too quick, to be honest. There was a lad played... Oh, no.
Oh.
There's a lad played when I started in the first team called Steve Kane. He ended up at Rushing for a couple of years. Yeah. And he went on a growing spurt and his bones outgrew his muscles. He couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
And his football just came to pieces, fell to pieces. And I think that's starting to happen with Robert. I think he's grown up too...
Yeah.
Physically, he's grown very quickly.
He's changed shape, hasn't he?
He has indeed. He's going to be a big, strong lad. I think he'll be a centre-half.
Yeah,
I think he will.
Do you think in years to come, though, he'll probably gain that weight that Tabs has got, that baggy?
No, if he keeps him on the move. Tabs was. Tabs wasn't fat.
No.
He was just stocky, strong as an
powerful.
ox.
And he would be afraid of nothing.
No. He'd take anyone on physically, verbally. He would never, ever cower from anybody.
Yeah.
If Robert's got that and he plays at centre half, given the size that he is now, he's got the makings of a great centre half.
I like his touch. He's got that skill.
He's a bit quiet at the minute. He's a bit young, still learning.
He might feel a
But
bit
that will
intimidated.
Maybe.
Yeah. Senior team. But Castletown are intimidated at the moment. They're getting a hiding.
Well, it's 5 already. Could be 6 or 7. Which is a shame, because this will really put a dampener on the rest of their season.
Very true. Very true. It's almost like if you could cut the season now, you would do, wouldn't you? You'd.
Well, I don't think it's going to get any better, is it?
No, I think we're done. Gary needs to be looking at next year.
Well, from what I'm hearing, speaking to Gary, there's a potential for a goalkeeper in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Which is great. And if you can get the goalkeeper to talk, that'll give the centre halves confidence to talk.
Yeah.
If they can talk, your fullbacks can plough the wings.
Well, you want your Manuel Neuer, don't you? Bringing it up from the back, because the amount of times over the year where there was just a big hoof down the middle, route one.
Yeah.
And those days are gone.
Yeah, they have.
You've got to bring it up.
I think Castletown are struggling with the pace of St Mary's today.
Well, they've got a bit of extra zip, haven't they, after last week's turnover? Humiliating.
It's a shame they weren't suffering with a hangover from last week.
Oh, God.
But
I was crying last week.
It is what it is. They've just got to get through this today. I mean, look at that. The keeper's even looking like he's got his head in his hands.
Yeah. I like.
Well done, Charlie.
I like Sigley. I like the shape of him. I think he could just move a bit quicker or jump a bit.
That comes from a person's ability to read a game of football. Well, people used to say to me, "Oh, you're lightning quick. You're this." I read the game better than I moved, and that gives you a 2-yard head start. It's not that you're a lightning quick. You just see things happening before they've happened.
I'm going to ask you something here. Did you play against Gareth Jones?
Against Anwith, yeah.
Really?
I had 2 years at Russian, yeah.
Oh, just tell me. Go on. The best bits. What was he so good at?
Well, I'll simplify that by saying that what I said as a youngster, you could nail a post in the centre circle, tie him to it, but unless you gagged him, he'd still run the game. And that's the kind of...
So he was noisy?
No, it wasn't noisy. It was almost as if everybody in the team that he played in was scared of letting him down.
Wow.
Because he had such high standards and he demanded that of everyone else around him, and he was, without a doubt, the best Manx footballer I've ever played with or against at any time, at any level.
And he did actually go to Liverpool, didn't he? He did have some part of that journey. I don't think it worked out for him.
Leeds was the team that were after him.
Yeah.
But I think his parents made him follow his education, and he ended up in teaching. But yeah, a great player. He'd run a game very quietly, and he'd just give you simple instructions, what he wanted from you, and let you get on with it. And if you didn't get on with it, he'd move you off the park. So,
in that era, who were the players around him? Because he brought good players to the team.
Obviously, Neil Shimon. Eric Nelson. Eric was a great engine, fantastic engine. John Horbury in nets. And of course there was Steve Jackson was still at the club at the time that I
Really, Steve
joined.
Jackson?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He was handy, was he?
good. He was an Ireland goalkeeper.
And he's not particularly big, is he?
No, he was just very good at what he did.
Just got up high, good hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of good players. But it was a time when I thought, in my lifetime, my playing career, that was the golden era for me. You had Convery still playing, Robert Tier still playing, both at Peel.
Oh, yeah.
Great players. Ray Rowley at Ramsey. Ramsey had some great players. Jeff Goff at Ramsey. There's some great footballers. Paul Baker, Chris Taggart, Jimmy Barry.
Tell me about Taggy. Entertaining character.
Yeah, didn't like getting hurt. Most of the time he avoided it. But what a great skills. Great ability with the ball. Not the quickest, but had a great eye for goal. And yeah, that's him in a nutshell.
Yeah. Oh, good times. And so the support at the club, say, a big game, would you have some big crowds? Or was it about the same?
Yeah. Town have always been well supported. They've got quite a good faithful support compared to a lot of other clubs, as have the likes of Peel and Rushen. So yeah, there was lots of times where there was good big crowds.
And most memorable game? What would that be?
For me,
Yeah.
as a player, well, I'm a Liverpool fan, so when we played Liverpool here, the Easter Festival, was it 82 or 83? That would be, for me, the best game I ever played in. But I played against Man United here when Robson came,
Oh, blimey.
Mark Hughes, Laurie Cunningham, who was still on Real Madrid's books at the time.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, just great players.
Incredible. So the Liverpool team, 82, around that era, you'd be talking like Emlyn Hughes, wouldn't you? Or would he be
It
gone
was
by
their
then?
second string. They
Yeah.
brought their second string for an Easter Festival game. There used to be a great festival of football
Yeah.
over the Easter holidays, and there'd be dozens and dozens of teams here, and it would culminate in a final, and then there'd
Yeah.
be a show game, and they'd have a professional team from across. Everton came, Liverpool, Man United.
Gazza played at Castletown, didn't he?
Yeah,
Seen the
Newcastle.
photograph,
Newcastle
yeah.
Played at Castletown. Yeah.
So we've been a Liverpool fan. What's your verdict on this season? It's been painful, hasn't it?
Extremely. I don't understand how these players suddenly become so vulnerable and underperforming. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on in the background with the backroom staff. I sense that there's problems there. Unfortunately for the likes of Jurgen Klopp, it's always the manager that cops for it. And he's holding his hands up and saying that he's taking responsibility, but there's a lot of responsibility to take.
Maybe, after winning the Premiership and the European Champions League, maybe you kind of just lose it a bit. I don't know.
When I see the likes of the way City have performed over the last sort of 8 to 10 years, constantly rebuilding and changing, I've always had a saying in football: if football stops evolving, it'll die. So it has to evolve. The competitions you talk about, this European Super League, sooner or later that will happen in some form somewhere, because it has to evolve, because if it doesn't, it will just die.
That's true. That is true, and we're not far from it. So, but we're far miles away, a continental distance away from a good performance for Town today. So far.
They're just going to have to take this one on the chin, and I just don't. What would I do? What would my thought process? Damage limitation, obviously, but yeah, to come out in the second half, I would now be more concerned of personally letting myself down by losing heart. So yeah, they've just got to steel up.
Well, there you have it. The wise words of Mr. Alan McCulloch, who's a stalwart of Castletown. You'll see him watching the games, which is great to have his experience on the touchline, sharing it with the players and people around us. And thank you very much for that little interlude.
No
and
problem,
turn
No
back
problem.
to history and the world of Gareth Jones. I do find that
Best Manx footballer there's ever been. Just my opinion.
excellent. Right, we'll go and see what's happening.
I was just thinking that I wasn't going to say anything. That's funny. Oh, blimey. Right, let's see what's going on. We're back. Let's just check that we're...
My name's Francis Dooley, right?
Francis Dooley. Let me get the mic. If you stand this side of me. Francis, and then there's just hold that. Kind of try and keep the mic still.
Okay.
That's good. So I've got Francis Dooley, one of the team from St Mary's, one of the, what would we call you, the backroom staff, would it be?
Yeah, backroom staff. Yeah. Bagman, if you like, or yeah.
Well, you were carrying some luggage that was beautiful back home last week, weren't you, with that game?
Yeah, we had a nice bit of luggage to bring home, to be fair. Tough game last week, obviously 2-1 down, got the penalty a couple of minutes to go, and then we were ready for extra time, to be fair, and then lo and behold, it drops in the back of the net, job done. Cup comes back to St Mary's. We had a good night out, good celebration, and move on to this week. Last week's gone, so yeah, big game here today. So half time 5-0 up. Didn't expect that, but some good players on the game here today.
Just tell me about last week. Okay, so Castletown, St Mary's were in charge. Castletown flipped it and were 2-1 up. Those last 5 minutes, what was the manager doing to turn that around? What happened?
To be honest with you, when we brought Frank on, it to me, he seemed to energise the team, drag the players through. Just put in a good last 10-minute shift, to get back in the game. For me, it was just about getting back in to get it 2-2 and take extra time. But like I said before, the ball went out, corner, come in. Frank got a touch, just dropped, and unfortunate for Castletown, but great for St Mary's. End up in the back of Castletown net. 3-2, job done. And like I say to you, good celebrations afterwards. Yeah, good to see. Good for the club, good for everyone involved in the community, and especially the players. Management side of things, Frank done a great job training, looking after the lads. Yeah, real good. And then,
what's the story with the keeper? He had an outstanding day. We had that moment where Edson, a Brazilian magician, if you like, he just had that shot and he's just tipped over the bar. And I don't know, your keeper just seemed to be playing out of his boots.
To be honest with you, the Brazilian magician, if he was that good, he would have put it in the net. But we had our own magician in goals. We call him Les Dawson, not Russ Dawson. Yeah, outstanding. Kept us in the game, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, take your chances. And that's what, unfortunately, Ed didn't do. So, we move on.
And top of the table, it's promotion in the bag, obviously. Going up as champions. I think today, I don't know whether that seals it, but...
No, not champions as yet. I think today, obviously, fingers crossed, like you say, 5-0 half time should put us up, but as champions, not yet. We got to play Foxdale Tuesday night, and then we got Kirk Michael at rearranged sometime. So
away.
Both games away. So we'll just take one game at a time as we go from now and see how we end up.
That was very punter-like. We'll just take one game at a time. If you're looking at the Castletown team now, they've just come down the steps, and I think that Gary Sansbury has gone nuclear on them after that performance in the first half where they're 5-0 down. He must have had a lot to say because the team looks washed out.
They do. I was going to say, I wouldn't have said he's gone through them for the shortcut, looking at them, because if they had go through for the shortcut, they'd be coming out a bit more springy. They look dejected, obviously they look down. Like I say, as a team, you go in 5-0 at half time, it's hard to get the players up for it, and just a bit of pride is what you want from your team now. But hopefully we'll move on. Like I say, good players in the team, Ash Sansbury, little Joe Canopy, like I say, Les Dawson in goals for us, Owen Canopy, all over our pitch. We're okay, we're all right, yeah, we're doing a job, and hopefully we'll run out a few more in the second half and see how things go for the rest of the season then.
So tell me, what's your background with the club? Lifelong member?
Yeah, I've been involved with St Mary's from under 12. We moved to the Isle of Man in 1976, as a family. Late brother-in-law Pat Gorman involved with St Mary's from 1981, where the year they won the Hospital Cup. And for myself, my brothers Anthony, Gerard in particular, we'd just gone through it all. Seen success, seen failures. We had to take a year out, but we've helped a lot of other people around the club. As I speak today, Frank, Al, we've come back, and yeah, things are moving on, and fingers crossed for next season. But yeah, massive club for me.
I can't find out where the accent's from. Where are you from?
Well, place in Ireland we lived was a bit of a bandit country, to be fair with you. A little place, a little village called Cullerville, just on the borders. And like you say, we moved over 1977 from a large family, all St Mary's supporters. So yeah, good. Got nephews playing, James McGinn, Rob McGinn. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully the Combi will go and do a job as well today. Beat Town and then move on to Foxdale. They win them 2 games, champions as well. So things are looking good at the moment for the club, and onwards and upwards.
But it was only a short time ago that it was in the mire, wasn't it? It was in real dire straits.
Yeah, we were in dire straits, like I say.
So what turned it round?
Well, we just got word that there was another club after the bowl, and between Al Harrison and myself, Anthony, a few other members in the club, we decided, let's try and get the club back up and running, and we'll keep the bowl for ourselves. So yeah, we put in a massive shift pre-season to get sponsors in, which, grateful for.
Do you want to mention those sponsors who we got?
Yeah. Well, TCQ's our first team sponsor. Front Porch sponsors a combination team. We have various sponsors, do banners. We have match ball sponsors. So yeah, a lot of work. Lads selling cards, football cards and golden goal things. Just keep the club going. It's you're talking £240 a game to play on the bowl on a Saturday for the club.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that. So just check that out, listeners, viewers. £240 a game. So for the subs per year, what are your players paying?
I think we're charging the players about £150 if I'm correct. Just to the way how could you say, finance things are going, society, etc., to keep the lads playing football. Do all have families, so yeah, we try and keep as little as possible. Hence, try and get good sponsorships in, look after things, look after your players, and they look after you. So yeah, swings and roundabouts. Every other club on the Isle of Man knows what it takes to run a club. It's not cheap, but the bowl's the best pitch on the Isle of Man. We want to try and attract the best players down here to play the football.
And it's consistent. You get a game every week. You've got the floodlighting.
Yeah, as I say, we've been down here windy days, rainy days, but the game goes ahead no matter what, which is good. Just to get a game of football, get your fixtures out of the way. It's our last home league game today, and looking at this, we've only lost 1 game at home this season. That was in the cup against Marown. So yeah, we've had a good league spell, undefeated at home. Fingers crossed.
I think players find it difficult here, don't they? Because there's a lot of room. You can just play a style of football that suits the team, and I think Castletown, with playing on grass, quite often they're hoofing it, into the wind. Here, you're going to play a much more skillful game, aren't you?
Well, football's football. You got to take your chances. Me personally, I like to see me wingers. It's a big pitch. Get the ball out wide, whip it in early doors, but you've got to have willing runners in the team. And I think you get it right. Good day. You have your good days, you have your bad days. Every player. But yeah, it's a great pitch to play on. So yeah, but I'm a get the ball out wide and get it in early. That's for me. Sometimes you got to adjust, as go a bit narrow, etc. Every team's different. See what the setup is, and we have a chat in the dressing room, etc. Half time before the game. Preparation's good. Get the boys fired up and hope for the best.
What about your training? How often are you training?
We're training. The lads come down on a Tuesday for, if you like, a kickabout. Just back to grassroots football. They organise it themselves. They play 5-a-side. But Thursday night, serious stuff kicks in. We've got Alan, Frank.
You train here?
Yeah, we train on the bowl as well. Yeah, Tuesday and Thursdays.
So is that part of the 240? Or?
No, that's a separate fee, which I'm unsure of the charge for an hour pitch hire. But we play on here, so we tend to train on here if possible.
Well, that's going to be £100, isn't it, or 60 quid?
Yeah, you're talking. Something. Yeah, I would have said between 60, 70 quid. As I say, I'm not too sure. I've got a figure of 30 odd quid in my head for an hour session.
And that goes into the government pay pot, doesn't it? Really, because
it's government run. So yeah, it'll go in.
So it's amazing. You could be paying the legal fees that are being forked out at the Attorney General's at the moment.
Who knows? But as long as Mary's win, that's out of my remit, if you like. So yeah, we just crack on.
I'm I think it's a great setup you got here, and that commitment, from the club. Where do you go for a drink after the game?
To be honest, we normally tend to go to the front porch, but last week we went back to the Pinewood, celebrated good style, and then we made our way down to front porch. So yeah, normally we'll go to front porch as sponsors of the club. Yeah, we go down there and give a bit back to them as well. So all good, all works well.
Well, round of applause to the front porch. That's great. Always recognise the sponsors, especially having a profile like that.
Yeah.
Castletown, of course. We're Hartford Homes.
Yeah, some people say the best thing in Castletown is the road out of it.
I think, off the line, I think really this year we just shattered our dreams. It's a script from an absolute horror movie there. You're 2-1 up with minutes to go, and then two, they weren't really very, well, one was a penalty, wasn't it? And then to go 2-2, and then the last goal, there was more holes than like a
Swiss cheese. It's just just press high, and keep going, never stop, keep working hard, and hopefully you'll get the rewards, which came to fruition last week. Definitely, yeah.
And do you think that was it? That Castletown didn't perhaps work as hard as here's Edson. Here he is, and he just slots it home. There you go, goal from Eddie.
Yeah, decent finish.
Let's
Simple
get him on
ball
the
played
scoreboard.
through.
Maybe the comeback is on. 5-1. Edson. There you go. Well, you'll have to get your own live stream TV set up. It gives pundits like you an opportunity to share your expertise, your knowledge, and thank you very much for your wisdom.
Okay, thanks, mate.
Okay,
See you later.
good stuff. Well, there you have it. Got a goal back. Edson putting some respect back onto the score. Castletown trail 5-1. So there you had it. That was a bit of a chat to one of our guys. I think he called him Jerry there. I'm not quite sure. I think that's his surname though, isn't it? Gerard. Fine name. Fine fella. Passionate about the club. Just giving us a bit of background into life as a St Mary's player. Front porch sponsors, so great little bar that. Good for the young people in Douglas. On Duke Street there, if you're wondering. Opposite the Cowie. So some discussion points really from today. I had a chat with Alan McCulloch there before, even just off camera. Very passionate about the Castletown team. Experienced player, comes up to watch from the touchline. Kind of echoed a few sentiments that I'll carry myself, and I'm not afraid to share that. I think Castletown have got commitment, we've got skill, just missing a bit of noise, a bit of, whether you call it leadership in the back four, whether it would be just being a bit more skillful with the communication, being able to motivate the players around you. It's a bit quiet sometimes, isn't it? A bit quiet. If you could perhaps put a name on any player at Castletown as being the definitive crusader, the leader, who would it be? Who would it be? So I'll leave that one with you. It's an interesting dilemma, interesting question. I think it's one that has got to be answered. I think it's something which for next season, because that's what we're talking about now. We're in April. The sun is shining. We're going to be doing other things soon. The season comes to a close, and Castletown have put in some great shifts, some great performances. Everyone has given it 100%, both on and off the field. But we just need to build on that. Good hands from Ryan in the goal there. So what we're going to do, if we're going to get anyone to go wide, no, we'll just do route one and try and find Eddie, who is up front. Excuse me. Easy goal. Walks it in. Just going to have a bit of a coughing fit for a moment, just bear with me. Frustrated, Edson kicks off. I can sense the... Is he anger? Is he subdued? He's not happy though. And why should he be with this score? 6-1. And we're not too far into the second half. That's an hopeful, but referee made the right decision there. He was clearly offside. Yeah, tough one for Eddie. We've got a few players missing today. I think tourism took over, and it's a day trip to the Grand National. Maybe that's a sign that really the season is done and dusted. Mary's just passing it around now. Referee just stalled in play just for a second. Ryan, what options has he got? Again, it's something which we've just got to manage. I think work on over the summer is this distribution from the goalkeeper in the back four. I think how we get the ball up the field, especially with this being a all-weather pitch where really we've got so much width. Just pass it out wide, make some space, create some options. It's not a massively difficult formula to think about, but we have got a changed team today. So 240, was it 240 quid a match, he said? That's a hefty tariff, isn't it, to play a home game of football? Edson just hobbling a little. I don't think there's any need to be targeted today with this 5-goal cushion. That's good play on the back there. That's it, just take control. Just having a look at the combination team. Oh dear. Went across the goal there, and what's the referee pointing at the penalty spot? Let's have a look on the old Twitter, see what's reported on the old football. Any football results coming in? Ayr United are winning away at Union Mills. Penalty, and it's converted with ease. Confidently slotted away, and let's get the unlucky number 7. Look at this, what an exercise in having to deal with a bad day at the office for the town. Now, am I seeing that Villa beat Newcastle? Let's have a look at that, see that for the old results. I do like the Villa. There's Fingal on a rampage. Keeper saves it, no problem. Villa beat Newcastle 3-0. What about that? Well, that's a big surprise. We're not going to see any surprises here, though. I think we just want to see the game out. Edson. He's got 2 men on him. Bit of skill. He's going to get caught out, though, and he's passed it back to Thompson. Thompson crosses it over, and the ball goes spare. Thompson will have a go. No pressure there, though. Good defending from the Reds there. Thompson in. And goes out for corner. There we go. Peel Power Station in the background. Let's get a nice view of that. Absolutely stunning building. All part of the project that ripped off the Manx taxpayer. Was it 500 million quid? And nobody got sent to jail on the back of that one. But keep paying your electricity bills. We don't want solar energy. We don't want wind power, because free, cheap electricity means that we won't pay off the debt. Please, you Manxies, if anyone not worked it out yet, that we don't have wind power, we don't have solar panels, because it's an alternative source of energy. And we've got this huge debt to pay. Hundreds of millions. The biggest Isle of Man scandal. Nobody held to account. Hang your heads in shame, and we're all suffering. Paying for the most expensive electricity, probably, in Europe. Little reminder there with the power station in the background. I think it's got a 4G mast on there or something round, so we can bring these pictures to you in good quality on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Our upload speed is 30 frames per second. About 3,000 kilobytes we're actually flying her in. With no drop rate. So we've been broadcasting for an hour on the yellow box encoder that goes straight into the YouTube channel. Seems to be performing a little bit better than when we had the Facebook page. Misbehave now and again. YouTube just seems to be a bit kinder. Unlike the images that you're being forced to view, unless you're a St. Mary's man. Yeah, use a little encoder here, yellow box it's called, so you can stick a few graphics on. We can have the score, sponsors. Sigley doesn't quite get it away. Needs to just take a little bit of time. He just rushes it a little bit. He had a bit of time, but nobody's telling him that he's got time. Even if it's just another half second, makes all the difference. In case you're wondering, yeah, it's a JVC camera, a HCV500. Basically, it's got a wide angle, which means it's idiot-proof and you can film anything sport-wise. Some changes now on the bench. Saturday over for some. Job done, mission accomplished. That's good play. See what happens there. Bit of space. Sigley intercepts. Thompson. Rob Tier just manages to get the better of his man, who's forced into a foul. So a nice turn from Tier there. Interesting to hear Alan McCulloch before about Tier Senior, Tabs, what a figurehead of Castletown. Didn't shut up, did he? Didn't shut up. drag the team with him. But we're not really feeling the noise. Is it something about Manx football? Are we? Oof, that was a nice effort. Is it something where we're kind of steering away from being a little bit too vocal? Is that maybe something that isn't encouraged? I don't know. Team of shrinking violets? What's going on there? Up to you. Few options there. There's a big acreage of space here. Fingal Watson looking to find the ball, but not to be. And Ryan safely picks the ball up. Bit of frustration there. But Castletown just not getting it together. I think Edson must be feeling frozen. Not getting any service at all. Intercepted. Oh, nice touch from Edson there. That was a great play. Is Edson going to get the ball again? Oh, he's just had it stolen at the last minute. That was going to be a beautiful piece of football, but didn't quite make it there. Some good communication there between Edson and Fingal Watson. Oof, went for the spectacular, but free kick, and the card is going to come out. Pointless really at this stage in the game, but it was a yellow. I think Ryan is going to be tested on this occasion. St Mary's queuing up to get on the score sheet. Referee being assessed today, by the way. So far, so good. Oh, Edson manages to free up Fingal Watson, who's in on goal, and save from the keeper. Not working out for the town, is it? Oh, skills. And that is a really well-worked goal. That was very good. Good to see, good to catch on film. Not good when you got to adjust the scoreboard to feature the snowman, as the score is now 8-1. And I think really, referee, just fast forward the clock. Let's get out of here. Great goal though. Very quick, young player. Not quite sure who he is, but I think I'm more interested in trying to work out how Villa beat Newcastle 3-0. That's quite a tally, isn't it? We'll be denting Newcastle's hopes for Champions League, but Villa seem to be getting it together with Emery. Yeah, quite like Villa, always have done. European Championships, weren't they? European champions. Oh, here's Eddie. Through on goal. And slots it home with casual confidence, outfoxing the keeper. So that's it. It's 10 goals, but not a 10-goal thriller. It's 8-2. Eddie's got another goal on the count for the season totals. I think he must be up there. Was it around 20 last time I looked? Maybe more now. This lad's good. Lovely ball there. Number 17 for Mary's. Very adept. Robert's here on the ball. The ball's given away. Well, we've got some changes to the team today. We've got some less experienced players, so at least some good will come out of this. That was a waste of time. I'd be giving that number 17 there the ball. Every opportunity, let him have a go. Wiry, fast, skillful. Opportunity for Edson. No one really grasping that though. Edson really should have had a go rather than sharing it out. All right. Just heard that 0-0 combi. Half time. Made up for it this side though with 10 goals already. Rob Tier out to Watson. Watson is going to be looking over to this far side. It's not quite going to make. Oh, keeper very cheeky there, side footing, moving the ball around. Apologies for the camera work there, just distracted. Rob Tier is going to have a go. He can hit them. Well, it's the Grand National at 5:15. Got one bet on. I think you can probably work out who it is. Our Power. Bit of activity now down here. We've got the banners being put away. I think are FC Isle of Man playing today? I think so. Bury. They're going to be playing down the ball. They've actually got... I see what's going on here. Yes, we've got the police, haven't we? Here we go, maintaining law and order. Look at that. Can you believe that? First time in Manx football, what they're doing, are chaperoning these fans, all three of them, maybe. I don't know. No, I do believe that Bury have brought a contingent with them. I can hear some singing, some chanting maybe, as the Bury fans are making their way to the stadium. This could provide a bit of colour. They can see some local football in its purity. See, yeah, that's what's happening. So I can hear just to be left here. A bit of noise, a bit of singing. The mighty Bury. I'll just keep it quiet that I'm a Bolton fan, because there used to be a bit of rivalry between the clubs when the Bury team was in existence. Maybe you've picked it up on the mic. Might get a bit of material here. Yeah. Bury's finest popped up. So we've got the police here, like commanding operations, walking down, hands in pockets, chewing gum, looking like they've got attitude. What about that? The modern cops this day and age. What we got here? What is going on? So just seeing this game out, obviously they must have closed the gates then, because I think it's ticket only, isn't it? Or payment on entry for the FC Isle of Man, the Ravens. So this game is just getting closed out. There can't be much more to much to go, and it's another one in the bag, and we'll just get that score up to 9, and there you go. Absolute horror fest. Castletown dragging their arses back to the starting positions for what is a dull, dreary afternoon. Thompson just trying to find Watson there on that left flank. Edson might have a pop now. Go on, have a go. You might as well finish your day off with something to take home down south. Thompson there, is he going to side foot it? Puts the keeper under zero pressure whatsoever as the ball has just floated. It's like a balloon just plucking it out of the thin air. Sigley got a bit of space, feeds it out. Watson to feet. And no hope there. So St Mary's, they're just going to be looking to hit double figures now, and this could be the opportunity. Tantalising, and into the hands of Ryan, the keeper. Sigley puts it out. So just to the right of us, we've got the police just coordinating operations with, I think, our local FA representative. Maybe they're discussing what tactics these Bury fans will have, maybe to cause a bit of disruption. I'd be saying look out for them with those long black, like truncheon-like objects that are very popular in Bury. Bury Market, of course, famous for the world's greatest black puddings. Referee, come on, looking at his watch, he's got 2 watches on the go. Please, just call it a day on 45 minutes. You've passed your assessment. Mark Stevens was just sat alongside. Look at this. It's like a film about The Walking Dead. Over the bar. And there we go, that's it. That is the end of the game. The players shake hands. It's not like the end of the match last week when there were tears of joy and tears of sadness. I think there's just tears of boredom. We won't trouble you any further for that. We'll catch up with you at the next game. Thank you to the sponsors. Thank you for watching, and we'll hopefully be reborn for the next time out.